we've lost the stream once again. It's just one of those horrible nights where it's going horribly wrong. Not just for Wales, but for me as well personally. There's a substitution. Martinho is going to come on. You've missed nothing, by the way. It's been one of those pig sick nights where everything that's gone wrong has gone wrong. I'm sorry about this, folks. I really am. I feel really sympathise with you listeners. I really do. But that lasted about 5 minutes, that stream. I am so disappointed. Adrian Silva's coming on. And, well, what can you say? What really can you say? So we are back with you now. Sorry about this, folks. I really am terribly sorry about this. You know, when we do these streams, we do them with the intention of going all the way through. Unfortunately, unfortunately, yeah, everything's going wrong. The internet connection's gone wrong, and there was a chance there, and it was almost 3-0, I think. But thankfully, at least we didn't miss that one. Everything's going wrong, and one has to say, this has been one of those. I'm sure Brandon is probably commenting on the other one about Ronaldo. I think he got up to 5, maybe 6 or 7. But we are back with you now, lads. I'm really sorry about this. The stream has gone wrong. Everything's just gone wrong for Wales. Oh, they had a chance there from almost 40-50 yards. It was a well saved by Patricio. Let's give the goalkeeper a bit of credit. Here's Taylor now to Church. Onto Williams. Chipped in there. Folks can't get it. King Robert couldn't get the header on. And it comes out to Gunter. Better for Wales. 10 to play. And hopefully we'll stay with you till the end now and limp over the line with this stream. It's been a nightmare night if you're a commentator of my persuasion. We'll do a little special show on Wales maybe tomorrow morning and look back at their excellent run in this tournament, unless they can score twice. And can Wales do something here? They usually do. It's a throw. Surely something's got to happen now. Here's Chester. 10 to play. John Williams. Can he get the cross in from the far side? He can. Plays bodies forward. Williams is on the edge of the area. Actually, Williams shoots and it hits Sam Vokes on the shin and it ricocheted out. Would you believe, for a throw? 9 minutes to play. 9 minutes for Wales to score twice and save themselves, and it's looking increasingly unlikely. It was Gareth Bale with the left footer from all of 40 yards, and he almost caught Patricio unawares. Well, everything's suddenly all of a sudden gone wrong. It's gone wrong on the stream, it's gone wrong on everything else, and I totally and utterly apologise for the failure of the connections here tonight. It's just been it's been one problem after another. I was looking forward to this game more than ever tonight, and the disappointment of being cut off a couple of times, unfortunately, happens when you broadcasting live. But there you go. Here's Gareth Bale, and well, that's inconsistency. If you're going to give a free kick to Ronaldo for a dive, then why can't you give one? Oh, that's a clear foul. That's a clear foul. There's no way in the world he was taking the man. Bale tried to stay on his feet, and there was no way in the world he was going to go on his feet. And he back, the free kick has been won. The referee took an eternity, in my opinion. Bale over this one, 30 yards from goal, just right to centre. Surely one has to go in for Wales. David says, keep your chin up, JB. Even if Wales go out, they do so with heads held high. Bale hits it into the wall, but Bale will get a second go. And now it's... Oh, that's a foul and a half there by Nani. Absolutely dumped into the ground. This referee needs to... Well, he needs to retire, quite honestly. Because if I was assessing him, he has been... I would have Oh, and mark him as disgrace. That's a foul. That is a foul on the far side. That is an absolute disgraceful decision. The referee's no more than, 5 yards away. He's had a pathetic night. Let's put it this way. He's had an absolute pathetic evening. And that man there, the Portugal manager, I don't like to accuse people of bribing, but I'm sure he's bribed the referee about a few €100 to make these decisions. Because, quite frankly, Wales have been robbed by some very, very iffy refereeing tonight, and when I do look back at Wales, I'm afraid the referee will have to take a lot of criticism for that later on. As I say, I can't apologise enough for the live streams breaking down. It's just the internet connection. I will be ringing Sky Broadband up tomorrow morning and giving them a piece of my mind, because quite frankly they have been utterly pathetic, really. Here's Cedric to Ronaldo. Unfortunately, my cup of PG tips is tasting a little bit sour tonight, and I feel for the Welsh. It's just a joke when a referee can't get certain decisions right, or can't even be unbiased. Some of the decisions the referees have made. David does make a point, however, that Wales missed Ramsey, but it missed Ramsey because of another unbelievably poor referee decision. That was the Ramsey booking was never a booking in the first place, and I've got to say, in the 2 games against Belgium and Portugal, Wales have been on the end of some shocking refereeing, I have to say. And they've been on, and here they go again. Here's Ronaldo inside the area. It's Ronaldo. Round the goalkeeper. Angle died on him. Side heading. And well played. Wade Hennessy came out down the angles and did well to a tee. Still remains 2-0. Here's Bale. That's still on a Williams mind. And here's Cedric to pick up the pieces, the Southampton man. Good tackle there from Bale. He has not given up, I'll tell you that now. There's Ronaldo. Through he went, away from Taylor. And look at Wade Hennessy. Did magnificently. Made himself big. Spread himself. And did terrifically well. There are 5 minutes to go. And what's been a frustrating evening for me, and personally with the commentary, and of course for Wales, and especially a real disappointment from the referee's point of view, who, let's be honest, has had a shocker. Ricardo Quaresma has come on for his 57th cap. Danny, what are they? Well, a hero for Portugal, but outside of Portugal he'd be classed as a villain as well as Ronaldo, let's be honest. But here's King. He hasn't really let anyone down. I know they've missed Ramsey, but the only reason Ramsey was out tonight was because of the referee. Simple as. It was a terrible decision by the referee in that quarter-final. Brandon says, I never thought I would see anything less attractive in sporting history since Alex Ferguson chewing his gum. Ronaldo's smug face and Chippendale's routines are far worse. The Chippendales. All time since I've heard them mentioned. Kevin says, not enjoying this game at all. Referee sucks, but not as bad as watching England now. Well, at least Wales are. Well, what do you say? Portugal, France or Germany? I'm struggling for someone to find someone to support. I think it's a bit unkind of maybe on the French and the Germans a little bit. I think their semi-final will be a real classic. Panini making the point about Tottenham next season. Walker, Ben Davies, Danny Rose. Well, out of the 3 of them, I think Ben Davies has been the standout performer in these tournaments. But they'll be put to the test with all these players that are being bought in by the bigger clubs. Here's a chance though. Chance it. Oh, there was a man free in the middle. That was Simon Church and MK Dons. What a chance. Brandon says France for me. They need to something to smile at after the terror attacks, and quite rightly so. And Gareth Bale now is being booked, and this is ridiculous. I understand Bale's frustration. And guess who? It was Cedric he felt. Well, Okay, that's late, but where was the referee when Vokes was clearly taken out by Bruno Alves with a high foot? Absolutely ridiculous. The referee has been poor, consistently poor. Two minutes of Wales' campaign to go, and they don't deserve to go out this way. Kevin says, "Go France." Look brutal. I have to say the French look very good. Here's Ronaldo inside the area. Here he is. Oh, now he's trying to bloody shimmies and show offs and stuff like that. And I think that's rubbing people's noses up the wrong way. Here's Quaresma. Deflects for a corner. Taylor has not stopped running all day. Taylor was going to have done terrifically well, but now you'll see some blatant time wasted from the Portuguese now, who in my opinion have not earned their right to be in this final on Sunday. They have been lucky from two set plays, and let's be fair, they've not really, apart from them two set plays, they haven't really needed to turn up, which is a shame really. But they've been helped by some very sympathetic refereeing, and the referee will get the burn in my full-time reporters. That header comes in, Ronaldo attacks it, but Chester did enough there to put him off. And it's with Wayne Hennessy, who kicks away right-footed way over the halfway line, looking for Sam Vokes to win that header, which he did, but into no man's land and Font. And Bell says, come on, let's get on with it. There's not enough time left now. We'll wind to the last 5 minutes and 5 seconds rather than normal time. And now, shuttle for 3 minutes. That's pathetic. I think, well, the officials haven't really covered themselves in glory, have they? Let's be fair. Carl says, I wish that the tennis was after this, so at least my day wouldn't have had to be so dodgy. I'm sorry about that. Let's be honest, JB, says Brandon. He says, if Euro still followed the old system of 16 teams, then Portugal would not have made it out of the group stage. Quite right as well. Well, at least, if we can just end on a bright note, at least Portugal have got a terrible, wretched record against France or Germany, so it still might end good. It might still end badly for Portugal. They don't deserve to be in the final, let's be honest, but they didn't really deserve to be in the tournament long before them. As Brandon points out, here's Mario now, and here is a chance for number 3. Is it Ronaldo? Touchback. Quaresma just behind him on the edge of the knee. And he's taken out by Allen, who's... I thought for a moment he was going to go for the back pocket and shoulder red, because he'd already been booked, but thankfully he only went for the vanishing spray and not a red card, thankfully. But Quaresma, that's another bit of play acting. Yeah, they don't like it up them, that's the problem. The referee's fallen for their play acting left, right and centre. We've now played halfway through the time added on. There are 90 seconds left. There's no way Wales now in the world can come back into this. I think they've been lucky to win by this scoreline, to be fair. 24 metres out. You know who's over it. I love to mention his name. I'm not usually this incensed as a commentator, but the performance and the theatrics as Ronaldo shoots with his right foot and he hits the wall. I don't know what he's got the gripe about, quite honestly. Kevin makes the point that Bale hasn't really had his best game. Well, he had a couple of half chances. Poland versus Wales, Sammy would have been a lot better, I have to say. We wouldn't have seen any diving in that Poland had they got through, but well, it's going to be delight for the Portuguese, but do you know what? They haven't deserved it on the balance. Not on 92 minutes, I'm afraid. There's comments going on about the Prodigy. Good band back in the day. As Spokes tries to get on that long throw. 30 seconds now to go of Wales's brilliant campaign, and they've really done themselves no harm at all. There's no disgrace for Wales. It's just a shame that the theatrics of Portugal have seen them unfairly knocked out of a tournament they've done so very well in. Can they finish with a flourish? Here's Joe Allen. Bale, there's not even any time. Well, that just sums up the entire poor referee, and the whistle is blown just when Bale was about to put the ball in the box. Play on for the extra couple of seconds. That is disgraceful, but it wouldn't have mattered overall. But let Wales have a chance right at the end. Ronaldo can be delighted, but I'm afraid to say his team did not perform as well as they got, and they got lucky with 2 set-piece goals. I was clearly not impressed with them at all in the first half. They were very, very, very... I'm afraid they're very arrogant. They're a very arrogant bunch. But let's not talk about them villains. Let's talk about the brave, heroic Dragons of Wales. Let's talk about them. How well they played to get even to the semi-finals. The Welsh fans, they're still happy. They're still singing. But the better team should not have won. The better team should have won tonight, and that wasn't Portugal, in my opinion. Ronaldo goes to the final, but in my opinion, he has not deserved it. But at least there's some joyous hope that we can hold on that Germany or France, whichever makes it to the final tomorrow, will have an Indian sign. But there's no way in the world that Wales deserve to lose tonight 2-0. They don't deserve that at all. Ronaldo and everybody else, they were diving. There were some poor decisions. Of course, the referee didn't have an influence on the first goal. It was a great header from Ronaldo. And if I was Gareth Bale, I would say, you're an absolute idiot. Go away. Because he was a cheat. He was a cheat. He won some very, very difficult... He won some very, very dodgy challenges. And I think the theatrics... well, he can shake hands all he wants, Ronaldo. But he knows he's cheated. He knows he's dived. And he can smile all he wants, Ronaldo, but he's done it. They've done it illegally, in my opinion, some of these decisions. And the referee, let me just say this before, I'm going to get this off my chest before we're out tonight. The referee from Sweden, just what planet were you on tonight, Jonas Olsen? Not Jonas Olsen, Jonas Eriksson, sorry. What planet were you on tonight? You were on the planet Zog when it came to the refereeing. You gave every decision in their favour. You penalised Welsh players, but for not touching the Portuguese because they dived over. You fell for their theatrics, and I'm sorry, but you have to take the blame for me. The referee, you should not be allowed. It should have been the best Italian officials. It shouldn't have been the best French officials. It should have been any of those officials apart from the Swedish referees. I have made the point in commentary more than once this summer during these tournaments. Why do we have the smaller nations represented as referees in these big games when they don't referee any massive matches in the tournament in their own respective countries? No disrespect, but that is just ridiculous. But what do I know? I don't work for UEFA. Only UEFA will know. It's a pathetic situation, and Jonas Eriksson, you cannot be pleased with that performance. If I was an assessor and assessing you, then I'm afraid to say your performance was downright disgraceful and disgusting. But enough about the referee. Let's just talk about Wales, shall we? The way they've gone about and done their business in this tournament. There were probably 40-1 to make the semi-finals at the start, according to some bookmakers. And let's be fair. They more than deserve to top the group involving England. They're unlucky to lose to England, in fairness. Although Coleman admitted after the game they didn't play well. It was a cagey match against Northern Ireland, which they sneaked through. They just had that little bit of quality Wales to get through to the quarterfinals, and then in the quarterfinals, absolutely obliterated Belgium in the best way possible. And then in the semi-finals, quite frankly, they tried their best, but unfortunately they came up against the 13 men of Portugal, and I think the referee was on their side right from the word go. He was not prepared to give any decision to Wales. They should have had a penalty when Sam Vokes' head was almost taken off by Bruno Alves. I think that was a penalty. And well, what can you say? But at the end of the day, Wales should be proud. They will have an open top bus parade, as one or two commenters have made the point tonight, and so they should do. I mean, to reach the semi-finals was a tremendous achievement, but to go out in that manner, to a poor refereeing display, and to a load of cheating Portuguese, and they can be proud of themselves, Portugal. They can smile and be proud and be joyous. They've reached the final, but they've reached it in the most idiotic, the most hideous, and the most unbelievable way possible. But let's be fair though, Wales can hold their heads up high. They don't deserve any criticisms at all, and I think they should be very, very proud of their efforts, and they more than merit their open top bus ceremony, just like the Republic did when they reached the last day of the World Cup back in 1990. But on a sad night for Welsh football, they couldn't reach the impossible dream, and I'm afraid to say the referee was an absolute disgrace. If I was going to mark the referee out of 10, by the way, I'm sorry to keep banging on about him, folks, but if I was to give him out of 10, I'd have given him about -8. It was an absolute shocker, and that's a good sight to see. The players, the coaching staff of Wales, Ashley was given a rousing reception, and why not? So there we are, folks. And what's been a disappointing night for Welsh football, a disappointing night for me personally, because we had some gremlins during the broadcast. Brandon says play 6 drove 4-1-2 into the final, and it was the first time in fact that Portugal won inside the match, inside the 90 minutes, but they don't deserve to be in the final, Brandon. Let's be fair. So there we go then, the end of the first semi-final, and let's be fair, the best team did not win tonight. Only -8, says Kevin. You should see me when I give referees in the Premier League -2 on my when I used to give -2 on my 606 match reports. I used to give it -2 or 3, and I used to get shocking messages back because I'd been biased against the referee. But let's put it this way: Wales can. Let's forget about the 13 men of Portugal. They didn't deserve to win. But let's just be honest with you: Wales can hold their heads up high, they can say they are the pride of Britain, and you know what? They are the pride of Britain, and they deserve every single bit of praise they get from now until their next competitive game, which will be the World Cup qualifiers. But as we leave you tonight, the best team hasn't won. Ronaldo and Portugal can go through, but they have gone through in the most utterly unfair and unsatisfactory manner. They've gone through and watched some and they've been out by some very poor refereeing. But let's forget about that. We'll see you tomorrow evening for the second semi-final. Hopefully we'll see a good game of football, and hopefully we won't have a poor Swedish official making some very poor decisions. Hopefully we'll have a great game of football between the host France and the world champions Germany, and let's hope that the football and not the referee decisions win over this time. Thank you very much for listening in, and thank you for sticking with me when the stream hasn't been 100% pucker tonight. But for me, JB, and a disappointing night for Welsh football, but surely not in total disgraced. It's a very good night to you, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Germany game. From me, John Stuttar, JB, take care. Good night.